Good evening, everyone. There is joy in unpredictability. So, after all of that lovely banter, I now welcome you to the closing ceremony of the Symbiosis Literary Festival 2025. Ah, We would like to welcome the patron of the Symbiosis Literary Festival, scriptwriter, lyricist, and poet, Javed Akhtar. We will begin the ceremony by playing a short video to celebrate the illustrious career of our patron. Thank you.
जो बात कहते डरते हैं सब तू वो बात लिख इतनी अंधेरी थी न कभी पहले रात लिख जिनसे कसीदे लिखे थे वो फेंक दे कलम जिनसे कसीदे लिखे थे वो फेंक दे कलम फिर खून दिल से सच्चे कलम की सिफात लिख
Thank you. So, the organizing team has specially curated this festival, hoping that it would be a deeply meaningful, enriching, and delightful experience for students, faculty, and the larger community. A literary festival is also a place where minds meet, conversations flow, relationships are built. So we hope that over these 2 days, you have collected a bag full of memories that will last you a lifetime. I now invite Shri Javed Akhtar, Dr. Professor S.P. Mujumdar, Dr. Vidya Yeravrikar, Dr. Ramakrishna Raman, Dr. Shweta Sinha Deshpande, and Anita Agarwal to join us on stage. I now call upon Dr. Shweta Sinha Deshpande, Director of the Symbiosis School for Liberal Arts, to address the audience.
Good evening, everyone. It is with immense gratitude that I welcome you to the close of the 6th edition of the Symbiosis Literary Festival 2025 with the theme Ink, Ideas, and Inspiration. On behalf of the Symbiosis International University and the Symbiosis School for Liberal Arts, I am honored to welcome our Honorable Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Professor S.B. Mujumdar, Sir, the patron of the Symbiosis Literary Festival, the eminent poet, lyricist, screenwriter, Javed Akhtar Sahabji, a literary luminary whose words have shaped generations. I remember growing up listening to all the beautiful songs, the poetry, and the cinema, and I can't move beyond that. So thank you for giving us a treasure of true Bollywood, but of a piece of our own culture and heritage through your music and poetry. Honorable Pro Chancellor, Dr. Vidya Yerwadekar, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ramakrishna Raman, and Ms. Anita Agarwal, Chairperson, FICCI Flow, Pune chapter. Thank you for being here and honoring this occasion. These 2 days, I think, have been nothing short of magical, a celebration of imagination, intellect, showcasing the sheer power of conversation. Together, we have explored how stories connect, how ideas challenge, and how words continue to inspire. Through every session, one message that resonated deeply was that ink is not just a pigment on paper, but it is a metaphor for change. the courage to imagine differently, to dissent when necessary, and to listen without fear. And ideas, as we've seen time and again, are the true currency for change. Together, they light the spark of inspiration that we carry forward much beyond the moment they have been created. It has been an exciting journey, more than 8 months, that has led to this gathering of more than 30 distinguished authors, public figures, thespians, from media, craft, culinary spaces, personals, to include luminaries such as Dr. Shashi Tharoor, Ambassador Pawan Verma, authors and writers such as Damodar Mozo, Miss Salma, Vivek Shanbag, Sunil Shanbag, Pia Benegal, Atul Tiwari, and our very own, I think, Sudhanva. He's been associated with SSLA for the last 3 to 4 years, and it's been a pleasure working with him. It's been an honor to have all of you with us. Thank you so much for being here these past 2 days. Over the 2 days, we celebrated how the many worlds weave and explored these voices into stories and represent the diversity of realities and experiences. SLF 2025 had the opportunity to weave the many truths around us through conversations on India's craft and textile traditions, the collective identities and community histories, narratives embedded in the Indian beverages, tales of the travelers, while also mapping the regional literary landscapes. This year was special and especially meaningful as we paid tributes to our two visionaries, Shyam Benegal, whose cinematic lens continues to teach generations of how to tell stories, Dr. Jayant Vishnu Narlikar, the astrophysicist and the storyteller, who reminded us that science and imagination are inseparable companions. Our dialogues over these 2 days reaffirmed the belief that knowledge, when shared across disciplines and generations, transforms societies. And that is the hope with which SLF puts together this festival every year. Javed Sahab, in 2023, in your interaction in SLF, you had made a statement and you said, "Jo bhi karo, shaan se karo, varna mat karo." It translates into do whatever you do, but do it with conviction, excellence, and pride. And I must put it on record that this conviction is integral to Symbiosis. And we embrace this in everything that we take forward. I have to speak about the trio that has put together the Symbiosis Literary Festival with the support of a large Symbiosis family, by Dr. Suchetna Banerjee, Professor Ananya Datta, and Professor Gayatri Mendana. They have been the heartbeat of SLF 2025. And of course, the real stars, the SSLA team of students, faculty, and staff, the various offices of the Symbiosis University. Your dedication, creativity, and support have once again made the impossible possible. And last but not the least, to our audience, a festival without its audience is only half a story. You completed ours. So thank you so much for being here and welcome to this class closing session. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Deshpande. I now request Dr. Vidya, Pro-Chancellor and Principal Director, Symbiosis International Deemed University, to address the audience.
A very good evening to all of you. Honorable Chancellor and the founder of Symbiosis, Dr. S.V. Muzumdar sir. Our very own, and I can say this with conviction, Shri Javed Akhtar ji, who's been, as Shweta said, a patron for the Symbiosis Literary Festival. Dr. Raman, the Vice Chancellor, Shweta, who's managed to put all this together and really work hard with her team for a very successful Symbiosis Literary Festival. My dear friend Anita Agarwal, the chairperson of Fiki Flow, Mrs. Muzumdar, Atul Tiwari ji, Pia, and other authors, writers, Pune citizens, and my dear wonderful students. Javed ji, thank you very much, very, very much from the bottom of my heart. I know I should not thank you, we are family, but even then, for someone to be so sincerely associated with one event, the Symbiosis Literary Festival, for the past 6 years, I still remember the first time when we decided to have a literary festival. I went to him and requested him that we will do the festival only when he has time, and he should be the first to inaugurate the first Symbiosis Literary Festival. And he readily accepted and also committed that whenever you plan next, I will always be there. I also remember that once you traveled to the USA and it was a very, very odd time for you, but you still came live. You said, I won't give you a recorded speech, but I will come live and inaugurate the festival. So, for young students, look at his commitment at this age and stage of life, and he's fully committed to so much other work. He's here. And as Tiwari ji rightly said, we had also invited Shabana ji, but unfortunately she could not come because of a medical problem. But thank you very much, Javed ji, for, in fact, having Atul Tiwari ji come here, because I think this is his first visit to Symbiosis. But as we always say, that the soil of Symbiosis is like the soil of Hawaii. Once it gets into your shoes, it will keep bringing you again and again. So you will come here again and again and be associated with Symbiosis in the near future. Thank you, Pia, for being it. It actually means Sham Benegal being here in spirit. When you come here, it's. I remember his visit to Symbiosis when he came to meet Dr. Muzumdar sir, and the great respect that we had and still have, continue to have for his work and for him. I hope someday we can establish a Sham Benegal chair at Symbiosis, and we can maybe with Javedji's ideas and Dr. Muzumdar's concurrence, we must. We run a wonderful Symbiosis Media and Communication Institution. I'm sure some of the students are sitting here in the audience. And a postgraduate Symbiosis Institute of Media and Communication, and therefore closely associated with the Indian film industry. Like we have the literary festival every year, we also have the Symbiosis Film Festival. And I want to invite you, Atulji, for that, because this time it is in December first week for the students to know. It's on the 6th and 7th of December, and it is on screenplay and script writing. The focus is. And like Javedji comes here, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan comes for the Symbiosis Film Festival. He's a professor emeritus with us. I hope this year he can also make it, but let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's see his commitment, but he does visit Symbiosis often. Likewise, we also have a Symbiosis International Relations Conference. The idea is to expose our young students to different kinds of work, whether it's literary work, whether it's films, media, or subjects like international relations and others, so that they'll really have a liberal view. The liberal arts students, of course, study liberal arts, but for those who are non liberal arts, who study very specific disciplines like medicine, engineering, management, media, and so many others, and design, they need to have a more liberal view and need to open their minds. And therefore, these are the attempts of the university to expose all of you to this kind of work, whether it's literature, art, cinema, etc. So, with these few words, I once again thank all those who have worked very hard at the Symbiosis School of Liberal Arts. And I also thank Javedji for once again being here. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Vidya. It is my privilege to invite our Chancellor, Professor Dr. S.B. Mujumdar, founder and president Symbiosis, Chancellor Symbiosis International Deemed University, to address us.
Namaste to all of you. Say namaste. Thank you. Chief guest, Dr. Javed Akhtar ji. You might have wondered why I'm calling him doctor. In a way, Javed Akhtar ji is an alumnus of Symbiosis International University, because we have conferred delete on Javed Akhtar ji. And therefore, whenever I will mention your name, sir, I will invariably call you Dr. Javed Akhtar ji, distinguished alumnus of Symbiosis International University. You should be proud. Dr. Vidya, Dr. Deshpande, our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Raman, Wiki Plus Chairman, Anita Agarwal ji, distinguished panelists, invitees, and my dear, dear, dear students. Yesterday was inauguration of festival. And Dr. Shashi Tharoor and Dr. Pawan Verma were the guests. And this auditorium was overflowing. And normally what happens is after inauguration of any conference or workshops or for that matter any festival, next day number of persons in the audience is almost half. When it comes to valedictory function, the number is still less. But I'm surprised that you have come and you have come here in as much number as on inauguration day. And thank you for it. That is all because, sir, because of Dr. Javed Akhtar. I was professor of botany at Ferguson College. And Vidya was also Vidya was student in BJ Medical College and she is a medico. Our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Raman, is a management expert and he is an engineer. But as far as I am concerned, believe you me, I made a mistake in choosing botany as my subject. Why? Because when I was learning botany, when I was teaching botany at Ferguson College, liberal arts, literature, poem, poetry were unknown to us. Neither university syllabus prescribed, nor anybody asked me and encouraged me to take some interest in literature, poetry. And so I feel sorry. And I'm sure Vice Chancellor will also agree with me. And therefore now, it will be an endeavor of our university to prescribe at least one book on literature, poetry, to the students of engineering college, management, computer, and whatnot. Because without literature, without poetry, without Javed Saab's poems, songs, there is no point in pursuing only one discipline like mathematics, physics, electronics, chemistry. So, a day should come when liberal arts, that is humanities and science, should be combined. Otherwise, what will happen is, and Javedji, you will be interested to know that yesterday, Shashi Tharoor gave a very interesting data. What becomes when you become an engineer? Engineer very often becomes a terrorist. He said that out of 100 terrorists, 97 were purely engineering students. Perhaps because they had not learned any novel, poetry, emotional. And therefore, I'm really happy that Liberal Arts School, Symbiosis School of Liberal Arts, has organized this wonderful festival of literature. Prophet Paigambar told us that the ink of a scholar is holier than the blood of a martyr. I repeat, ink of a scholar is holier than the blood of a martyr. And this was told to us by Prophet Muhammad Paigambar. And how true it is. Because without scholarship, without literature, without poetry, without any liberal arts subjects like humanities, social sciences, etc., life is incomplete. Your joy is incomplete. And therefore, I feel that the day should come when science and humanities should go hand in hand. And Javedji, it will be our endeavor to do that. With these few words, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming over here in Hyderabad. Would you have clapped so much if instead of Javedji, some scientists would have been here? I don't think so. And that's the beauty of literary festival. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. May I request Dr. Mujumdar to facilitate our patron, Javed Akhtar. I now invite Dr. Suchetna Banerjee on stage to be in conversation with Javed Akhtar. Many of you at the festival have already heard Dr. Suchetna speak at a previous panel, so she has asked me not to introduce her and instead to begin with this wonderful conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gayatri. Can we put another round of applause for Janab Javed Akhtar? The last time I spoke with you was online literary festival.
उसके बाद तो आपने मुझसे बात ही नहीं की
मौका ही नहीं मिला
जी
जी तो आप कहे थे कि आप आके हमें जानिसार अख्तर के बारे में बोलेंगे
देखिए talking about your own father is a very difficult thing. जी. If you tell his good points, you look like praising your own father. And if you tell his weak points, then you look like a traitor. तो ये टॉपिक तो आप जाने ही दीजिए.
Okay. So I'll frame it differently. Yeah. You have inherited a rich legacy of poetry from Janisar Akhtar to Faiz, from Sahir Ludhianvi to Ghalib. How do you situate your own voice within that lineage? Do you see yourself somewhere following the tradition or challenging it?
I think revolt and tradition should go hand in hand. And that's the way things should be. You must have seen children tying a small pebble in a thread or in a dory, and then they put it in the air and make the circle bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Now, this little stone, this pebble, is the revolt which wants to move away. This string is the tradition which is holding it. But slowly you keep on loosening that string and the circle becomes bigger. If you take out the string won't reach. If you take out the stone, the string won't reach that far. If you break that string, the stone will also fall. So this string is the tradition, this stone is the revolt. And when they are together and there is a mutual tension, but they are going together, that is the ideal thing to happen. Your tradition is a root, and as you grow, your revolts are your branches. A complete tree needs branches, height, and revolts. I've asked for a cushion not because I have any problem with my back, but I have ideological difference with seats or sofas which are too deep. Because what happens, if you rest, you look arrogant. If you are sitting on the edge, ऐसा लगता है नौकरी मांगने आया है. तो जी जी
Ji.
so actually revolt and tradition should be connected.
Yes, absolutely. Taking a cue from that, Anjuman Tariq Ki Pasand.
जी.
Yeah.
Progressive writers movement.
Progressive writers movement shaped much of 20th century Urdu literature.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
How do its ideals like humanism, egalitarianism, resistance continue to echo in your work today?
Well, it's not for me to decide or analyze my own work. That will be kind of self-intelligence. But by and large, I can tell you about Urdu literature.
Yes.
I'm afraid that many people who have not learned Urdu or whose mother tongue is not Urdu have some image of Urdu that it's very romantic if they are positive. If otherwise, it's a foreign language, and it should be thrown out of the country. Uh, but if you have a soft corner for the language, then you say it's very poetic, it's very nice, it's very sweet. But that's not narrow. It's a live language, it has always been. And with great pride, because it's my mother tongue, I'll tell you. Right from the beginning, right from the emergence of this language, which is perhaps 7 to 800 years old, this was a language which was anti establishment, anti superstitions, anti status quo, and anti anything which is irrational. Urdu has the most different kind of poetry. One of them is ghazal. Ghazal is very popular, and somebody has analyzed the poetry that has been quoted in the parliaments, Lok Sabha and Raj Sabha. And almost more than 90% poetry that has been quoted in the Parliament of India is from Urdu Ghazal. Now, what is Ghazal and what makes it so quotable? What is the structure of Ghazal? What is Ghazal? Ghazal is a very interesting form of writing that you have one first line where in both the lines you have rhyme, and along with rhyme, you have one more thing in Urdu Ghazal, which is not in Sanskrit, which is not in Arabic, which is not in Greek, which is not in Latin. These are old grand languages of the world, but they don't have this. It was perhaps invented by Persian, but came to India through Persian, and now poetry is written beside Urdu in Hindi, in Marathi, in Gujarati, in other languages also, and there also you have that thing. Beside the rhyme, there is one more thing that is called Radif. Radif इन लैंग्वेजेस में होती है जहाँ गज़ल लिखी जाती है, वरना बाहर की दुनिया में कहीं नहीं. रदीफ मीन्स रिकरिंग टर्म. दिल नादा तुझे हुआ क्या है, आखिर इस दर्द की दवा क्या है. ना हुआ एंड दवा आर राइम्स, बट ये क्या है ये क्या है जो है वो इंग्लिश पोइट्री में नहीं होता है. ये क्या है जो है दोहे में नहीं मिलेगा. ये जो रदीफ है, इट इज ओनली इन गजल. So even in Punjabi, when the ghazal is written, like I don't know how many people understand Punjabi here. Most of them are looking educated. तो 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 ਕੁਝ ਉਂਝ भी रावां आपसियां सन, कुछ गले गमादा तौक भी थी, कुछ तो मेरे रास्ते भी डिफिकल्ट थे, कुछ मेरे गले में गमों का हार भी पड़ा हुआ था, कुछ मुंजी रवा औखियां सन, कुछ गमित दवा दा तौर भी थी, कुछ शहर दे लोग भी जालिम सन, कुछ सानू मरंदा शौक भी थी। तो तौक और शौक इज राइम, बट व्हाट इज दिस सी? सी इज रदीफ। कि कुछ तो शहर, मैं इसको ट्रांसलेट कर देता हूँ सिंपल हिंदुस्तानी में, कुछ राहें थी दुश्वार मेरी, कुछ गले में गम का तौक भी था, कुछ शहर के लोग भी जालिम थे, मरने का मुझे कुछ शौक भी था।
Yeah, now, complete.
तो हर जगह होता है। अब क्या है, एवरी कपलेट जो 2 लाइन्स का एक शेर होता है, इज अ कंप्लीट स्टेटमेंट इन इटसेल्फ। ना उसका आगे से कोई संबंध है ना पीछे से, है तो है, नहीं है तो कोई बात नहीं। On different topics you can say different things in different shades. It is a collection of like a box of assorted biscuits. एक बॉक्स में है लेकिन हर बिस्किट का मजा अलग हो सकता है। तो what puts them together? The meter, the rhyme जो चेंज होता रहता है, and the radif which is recurring. That is rather. So it is very popular. Now, because every share is complete in itself, it needs tremendous brevity. You have to develop some symbols to make things easier. Traditionally, the conservative, the religious person, the Puritan has been the villain of Urdu Ghazal, always. And Urdu Ghazal has made fun of them, treated them as villains. While the Rind, who is the drunkard, or the Ashik, who is the lover, they are the heroes. The Haram, which is in literal dictionary sense means a mosque, is a boring place. And Mekhana, which in dictionary is the tavern, is the interesting place. But Mekhana means free thinking. Haram means conservative attitudes. Haram or Dar. Dar means temple or Haram means mosque. These are the places which are of conservative thinking, regressive thinking, while the drunkard who is in the Maikhana is a free thinker. So these are the symbols. By drunkard, one doesn't actually mean in a good Urdu other anybody who is drinking, but a free man. A lover is a free man, while a Zahid means Puritan, Muhtasib, who looks after your, guard your morality, or like Sheikh, who is the religious man, they are the villains of Urdu poetry. Then came the time of poems. Poems came much later, although there were different form of poem, but not the poem that you see in Western literature. That entered perhaps in late 19th century. All the big poets that you can name, they are all of them are liberals, secularists, and patriots, and the whole of Urdu poetry is full of that. They are the only people. My father, probably I'm going to talk about my father. So he had edited 2 volumes titled Hindustan Hamara. One was about Indian culture, traditions, cities, deities, different gods and goddesses, and history. This was one. Another had all the big historical characters, freedom fighters, and great political movements of last 200, 300 years, and so on. All of them, how they have been recorded and what Urdu poetry says about them. So this is available in the market from Rajkamal, uh, 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 Rajkamal, uh, and you can get those books, and you'll be surprised when you read the index. That will give you another image of Urdu that most of the people are unaware of. What kind of poetry has been written on Ram or Sita or Radha or Krishna or uh, Diwali, Holi? I can vouch for it. The kind of poetry you will find on Banaras ke Ghat or Diwali or Holi. That kind of poetry will not be found in any language of India. There, it is such good poetry, which has been written 200 years back, 300 years back. तो वो सब उसमें उसका सिलेक्शन है उस पोइट्री का अबाउट द सिटीज अबाउट द वेदर अबाउट द फेस्टिवल एक फेस्टिवल तो मैंने सिर्फ वो पोएम में ही पढ़ के मालूम हुआ क्षमावनी क्षमावनी इज अ जैन फेस्टिवल where it's a day where you are supposed to forgive people and ask forgiveness from them. There is a poem on it. आज से 300 साल पुरानी. तो ये जो साइड है उर्दू का हमने इंडिया में उर्दू है ये तो हमें मालूम है लेकिन उर्दू में कितना इंडिया ये हमें नहीं मालूम. So anybody who is interested, and I must thank Dr. Majumdar, जो उन्होंने बात कही, it is one of the wisest things I have heard in recent times. Honestly, हम लोगों का चक्कर क्या है कि हम एक चीज जानते हैं and hopefully we know it well. When then there is a steep fall, then we don't know anything. एक साइकोलॉजी में एक प्रॉब्लम है जो उसको डिजीज को कहते हैं इडियट सवान. इडियट सवान ऐसा होता है अभी भी दुनिया में कोई 11-12 इडियट सवान है दैट ही डज वन थिंग लाइक अ जीनियस एंड देन ही डजंट नो एनीथिंग एट ऑल. अ यंग मैन हु कैन नॉट चेंज हिज क्लोथ्स, हु कैन नॉट ईट हिमसेल्फ, you give him a paper and a pencil and he'll draw a ship, and every time a new ship, and they tried, it works. Who has taught him to draw ships, to make the design of ships? Nobody. There have been people, you must read about it, go on Google or anywhere, chat GPT, that what is idiot Saman? There was an idiot Saman, give him a paper and he's ruling. He has no control over himself. But you give him a paper and pencil and he'll draw kittens. Only kittens. And every time new kind of pattern, new pattern. Two kittens sitting, one is standing, kisi mein kuch, but kittens. In PGI, Punjab, somebody brought a boy who was 18, 19 years old from the village. साहब ये बच्चा देखिए 18 साल का हो गया है, खाना भी खुद नहीं खा पाता, बात भी ठीक से नहीं करता है, कपड़ा नहीं बदल सकता, सब हम लोग को करना, इसका कुछ इलाज कर दो साहब. तो उन्होंने कहा कुछ तो करता होगा. कुछ के ये क्या करेगा साहब, कुछ भी नहीं करता है. हाँ, एक काम करता है, इसको आप 50 साल आगे और 50 साल पीछे का आप डेट दोगे ये दिन बता देगा. तो ये बता देता है. Now this, I mean, ostensibly a retarded child has 100 years calendar is in brain. Forgive me, but in some way we are also idiot savants. We know what we are doing well, hopefully, but after that we don't know anything. This is not fair. यही बात कह रहे थे डॉक्टर साहब कि एक जनरल एजुकेशन चाहिए होती है. लाइक आर्ट का स्टूडेंट है, उसे कुछ नहीं मालूम कि एआई में हो क्या रहा है, उसे कुछ नहीं मालूम कि आज एस्ट्रोनॉमर्स क्या ढूंढ रहे हैं, क्या क्या हमने डिस्कवर किया है स्पेस में, उसे कुछ नहीं मालूम कि जेनेटिक्स पे क्या रिसर्च हो रही है, ब्रेन पे क्या रिसर्च हो. ही डजंट नो एनीथिंग. यू गो टू अदर साइड, एक मेडिकल कॉलेज में उसे बोलूँ कि साहब वो जो प्ले था ना उसका ऑस्कर भाई, अरे मुझे क्या है, हम तो डॉक्टर हैं भाई. तो उसको इधर का कुछ नहीं पता होता. एक कंप्लीट पर्सनालिटी के लिए जो थोड़ी सी बेसिक, यू कांट बिकम, एवरीबडी कैन नॉट बिकम अ साइंटिस्ट और इंजीनियर और डॉक्टर और अ पोएट और अ राइटर और अ लिटरेरी जीनियस, बट बेसिक इंफॉर्मेशन ऑफ एवरीथिंग will make a more rounded and complete personality. And particularly, literature is very important for everybody. Literature is not for one person. Literature is not only for those who write it. It is for everybody's reading. It tells you two things, good literature. That how different people are in this world. And at the same time, exactly the opposite is told at the same time. That how similar human beings are. Good literature creates empathy in you. understanding of people who are different from you in language, in nationality, in color, in religion, in caste. You develop some under. You can't visit everybody's house. You can't go to every uh, locality, every region of the world. But a compassion for everybody will develop in you, an understanding of everybody, an empathy for everybody will develop if you have read good literature. It will make you a much better person. So we should not deprive ourselves. Literature is not for the students of literature only. Maybe they are doing the research. Maybe they are trying to find more. It's their job. Like basics of life are for everybody, and this is one of the basics of life. So it is for everybody. Maybe you're a doctor, you're an engineer, you're a scientist, but you should have connect with literature and art. That makes your life more aesthetic, more beautiful, more compassionate, and more static.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Uh, I'll come back to my questions later. There are many questions from the audience. Many students are eager to ask you things. So
I can only see 3 students who are leaving. So I don't.
they're not leaving.
Maybe
they're
they
just,
don't have any
they're
questions.
just shifting their seats, I think.
Are they? Now, poor girls will have to do that. They have no choice.
Now you stopped them. They have to wait now. You've pointed them out now.
Now, Jacobat. I have many.
All right. Yes, I can see your hand. See all of you if you raise your hand.
Yeah,
Okay, let Javed Saab choose. Okay. Which one? Right. Can I have a mic pass to her?
So I'm Valerie, and I wanted to ask, it's not like a very serious or very academic question, but I wanted to ask, what's your favorite thing about writing poems, stories in general?
What is your? It depends, I mean, anybody like you, me, or anybody. In different moments, we are in different frame of mind. Different emotions get hold of us, or different ideas start uh, uh, taking our attention and priority. So anybody who writes in different moments write different things, and that's why you see that poets over their career have touched many topics. Yes, I'm willing to accept that there is some commonality because the same person is writing it, the same person is thinking about it. So uski thinking mein there can be some kind of uh, common thread, but topics keep on changing. Priorities, you may one day you may write a love song, other day you may write a revolutionary song, third day you may feel depressed and write a sad song, and other day you may feeling very exuberant, you write a very happy song. Depends in what frame of mind you are. Your frame of mind keeps changing, so your topic, your priorities.
Yeah.
So specifically, what I was asking
Valerie,
was what
we'll
you
give chance to other people and you can catch her later. Yeah. Uh, can we have one mic right at the back? He's
That's a very dangerous area.
That's a dangerous area, but he's been waving for the longest time. So
Hello, good evening, sir. I am Rishabh and I'm a second year law student. सर एक ख्वाब था आपसे ऐसे बात कर पाने का और अब आज ये पूरा हो गया है तो मैं इतना ही कहना चाहूँगा कि देखा एक ख्वाब तो ये सिलसिले हुए. Big fan of you, sir. Big fan of you. I mean, I can't just express 2 बजे से यहाँ बैठ करके आपका इंतजार कर रहा हूँ. Very simple question, sir. There's been a lot of difference in how songs were written earlier when you, Sahil Udyanvi ji, Gulzar Saab wrote, and now how these all these modern lyricists are writing. How do you see this transition as? Is very simple question, sir.
Whatever happens in films, commercial film particularly, I would say the film which are parallel film or realistic film which are made by people who don't bother whether they lose money or earn money. That is not their priority. Like Mr. Shyam Benegal. Mr. Shyam Benegal was not making film to make a buck. He was making film because he wanted to make film. They are different people. That's another species. But I'm talking of mainstream cinema where you have songs that you're talking about. It is the manifestation of the society. This producer has his ear to the ground and he wants to please the audience to make a buck. Whatever is happening in cinema, it is only the manifestation. It is one jhalak of what is happening in the society. So don't bother about cinema. If you see something going wrong in film story, film characters, film songs, bother about the society. Nothing happens in a void. Nothing. These films are made to please the audience. They should like the film. That is the basic criteria of a commercial film. And these criteria keep changing with time. If you see, let's take the villain. In early 40s, the villain was a zamindar, Thakur Sahab was the villain. And then came the time when it was the feudalism was taking its last breath. After that, as the urbanization started and industrialization started, the mill malik, the Sethji, became the villains, mill owner. The rich man became the villain. Then came the time when in urbanization, the slumlord became the villain. The underworld of the big city became the villain. And lo and behold, within no time, the underworld became the hero. And came a time when politicians became villain, policemen became the villain. Then for a while we imported villains from Pakistan. Now that too has its uh, law of diminishing utility applied. So at the moment we don't have villains. We are short of villains because our definition of villain has now become the definition of the hero. Whatever the richness, money, by any means, which by hook or crook, you should be rich, you should have a big house, you should live comfortably, you should have fun. ये तो विलन करता था पहले. वो हमारा हीरो तो बेचारा मिडिल क्लास या लोअर मिडिल क्लास का होता था, गरीब होता था, क्लर्क होता था, स्कूल टीचर होता था, लॉयर होता था, डॉक्टर होता था, या जो अनएम्प्लॉयड यूथ होता था. अनएम्प्लॉयड यूथ की तो कोई कमी नहीं है, लेकिन अब वो हीरो नहीं है. वो हीरो नहीं है. हमारा हीरो कोई काम नहीं करता है. He lives in a big house, and when he comes out, generally he is not on an Indian city roads, because if you shoot the scene on some Indian road, some wretched poor man may cross the fray. We don't want to show them. So we go to directly from the house to New Zealand, Switzerland, Swaziland, anywhere. So you see today the average ticket of a multiplex is 500 rupees or more. It means if a family, a nuclear family goes to watch a film, it will cost them, along with samosas, which are very expensive, some 5 to 6,000 rupees. So films are made, major films are made for people who can spend 5 to 6,000 rupees in movie watches. You had cinema hotels for rich and hotels for poor. You had hospitals for rich and hospitals for poor. Now you have cinema for the rich. And the cinema for poor is in regional cinema. Today you have huge Bhojpuri film industry. ये तो पहले भी थे भोजपुरी यहाँ, तो इंडस्ट्री इतनी बड़ी क्यों नहीं हुई थी? इसलिए कि हिंदी सिनेमा was feeding them, giving them what they wanted. Now Hindi cinema has moved away. Hindi cinema is bothered about the big cities and diaspora. ये छूट गए. तो इनका जो वो ब्लॉक खाली हो गया है, इज बीइंग फिल्ड बाय द रीजनल सिनेमा. ये रीजनल सिनेमा बड़े ही इसलिए हुए हैं कि जो मेन स्ट्रीम सिनेमा था has abdicated that responsibility. I am not going to show a poor man, a man who doesn't have a job, वो घर जिसमें फाका हो रहा है. आखिरी बार कब देखा आपने किसी घर में जहाँ अनएम्प्लॉयड लोग हैं और तकलीफ में हैं और उनके पास पैसा नहीं है और उनका मकान खाली करा दिया जाता है? When did you see this last time in a mainstream film? Never. अभी था 20-30 years ago. अभी सब एवरीथिंग इज हंकी डोरी. अच्छे दिन आ चुके हैं.
Can I have the next question? आप चूज कीजिए, बहुत सारे हैं. आप बताएं.
चलो भाई ये गेट अप यू.
मैं मीडिया को स्कूल से हूँ एंड हमें मतलब फिल्म्स दिखाई जाती हैं
माइक
तो
माइक
Please be louder.
yes so I come from the media student I'm a media student and we watch films, we make films and we breathe films. So talking about films, so in the angry young man era, made films that and wrote films that are so exceptional that we cannot recreate them even today. So what do you think is the most prominent reason behind it, that it is so prominent even today?
It is very interesting, and I wish I had the answer. Today, if you look around the society, only the privileged people are angry. People who have everything, they are very angry. And rest of the people who are really deprived are surprised. They are looking at them with open mouth, and they didn't know, because even anger has been appropriated. You don't, they have not left even anger for you. All the privileged people, rich people who are doing well, are very upset, very angry. So, बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. और ये क्यों है मुझे मालूम नहीं है. आप लोग इतने एंग्री नहीं हैं जितने बिलियनर्स आजकल एंग्री हैं. दे आर वेरी अपसेट. Why it has happened, I have no idea. You are young people, you must find out. It's going to be your world. हम तो कुछ दिनों हैं. हमारा इतना बड़ा प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. It's your problem. ये yeah.
Thank you.
100%. He will increase the tariff of that country.
I think Javed ji wanted.
जी जी जी. नहीं वो पीछे वो बच्ची उधर थी. उसको मैंने हाँ take it.
Namaste, sir. So this question is coming from me and my friends. So considering that we had films like Homebound at the theaters, we saw a shift in the kind of films production houses fund. However, it did not generate the same amount of profitability any commercial film would have. This sort of urged producers not to explore or fund these sort of films, right? So, what could young filmmakers do who would like to continue on the path of this sort of reigning cinema but lack these sort of financial resources to make these sort of films?
Okay. No, you must choose topic like this. I love that film. I love another film which did not do well on the box office at all. That was uh, Super Boys of Marigaon. Yes. But it did not run well on the box office. There have been quite a few films. The fact is that thankfully you have many more means of uh, giving your movie to the audience. There was a time when it was the auditorium and only the auditorium. Today you have OTTs, you have different channels. So those channels we have to use for more realistic, more sensitive, more subtle, more underplayed films. I think single theater or the multiplex is not the place. And like religious people never complain that God is wrong. They always say जो भी हुआ है हमारे सब घर के लोग जो है वो घर गिर गया सब मर गए गॉड ने कुछ सोच के किया होगा तो गॉड को ब्लेम नहीं करते हैं उसी तरह से फिल्म के पीपल ऑडियंस को ब्लेम नहीं करते वी हैव अ वेरी मीडियोकर ऑडियंस their IQ and their standard is pretty low at the moment. This is a reality that we have to accept. तो For them, you have to make films which are obvious, more in their face, loud to some extent. You may not make a film with extremely wrong, regressive values, but it has to be in your face. While if you want to make a better film, you better understand that you have no financial future there. You have to see to it that you will be able to release it on OTT, or you can sell it to foreign different channels and whatever. But at the moment, at least, the main theater is not for a real, sensitive, realistic film.
जी बताइए.
So ये कुछ डिस्टेंस माइक का होता है, उसमें मफल हो जाती है वॉइस, थोड़ा सा दूर रखिए, तो that will be better for me. Otherwise, I'm
which-
looking, I mean, a full-time deaf man. हाँ,
Which hand?
ये जो भाई जो भी सामने हमारा इतना बड़ा हाथ कैसे हम इग्नोर कर सकते?
Camera.
बिग एस.
If you could
Namaste,
stand up,
sir.
please.
So myself Aditya Bhatt.
मैंने आपको कहा था यहाँ चला गया, कोई बात नहीं. Now it will come to you. बोलिए sir.
I'm sorry. I'm firstly sorry. Yeah. So namaste, sir. Myself Aditya Pathak. I'm a fourth year law student, sir. Sir, my question is, the literature and the movies has always been a mirror of the society. And as you continuously has said right now that there is a total change in the making of movies from which were oriented to societal issues or something like that. They have totally transformed and they are in totally in different fulcrum. So what do you think uh, regarding such fulcrum? Is that so the films this time are giving a total utopian vision to the society, or or something different the societies are portraying for the people to see in?
Thank you. I have heard the question clearly. Now comes the point. You see, there is a difference between literature and mainstream cinema. Both of them reflect society, but in a different way. A literature is true to the truth, honest to the truth. It will write what it has seen, whether it makes you happy, unhappy, depressed, or exuberant, whatever. But cinema, the commercial cinema, why do I say commercial cinema shows what is happening in the society? Not in a direct way. You see, when we sleep, all the parts of our body keep working. But if brain also keeps on totally working, we won't be able to sleep. So what does brain do? Brain changes its language. If it doesn't work, it will die. The blood will clot there and man will die if the brain stops working. But if it is working, then how do you sleep? So what does brain do? It changes its language and finds a very soft language, which is called dreams. Now, after almost every 20 minutes, a dream is prepared, seen, and forgotten mostly. But there is a cycle of dreams throughout when you are sleeping. When you get up, most of the dreams you have forgotten. You don't remember them, but your brain was constantly dreaming. If it would not have dreamt, it would have died. Now, the dreams that you remember, they are made of your concerns, your insecurities, your ambition, your hopes, your disappointments. But the language is different. If you go to a psychiatrist and tell the psychiatrist that this is the dream I often see, the psychiatrist will be able to interpret it, that why you are seeing that dream. Actually, commercial cinema is a dream of the society. It is speaking in some other language. But you take any commercial film and make two psychiatrists sit with them, or psychoanalysts sit with them. They will tell you what society is thinking. It's a dream. It's a mass dream of the society. ये जो एक देखिए, एक अजीब तरह का मेल शोविनिज्म अभी आपको फिल्मों में दिखता है, जो 60s में नहीं था, जो 50s में नहीं था. 50s में तो इतना बड़ा हीरो वो था कि जो शराब पी पी के अपनी महबूबा के दरवाजे पे मर गया जाके, देवदास. अब देवदास इज नॉट योर हीरो. आपका 60s में एक हीरो था रेबल स्टार. वो रेबल स्टार काहे का रेबल था? वो अपने माँ बाप से कहता जहां तुम कह रहे हो वहां शादी नहीं करूंगा. दिस वॉज हिज रेबलियन, नॉट मोर देन दैट. शम्मी कपूर ने कभी अमीरों से रेबल नहीं किया. उसने सिर्फ ललिता पवार जो उसकी माँ थी उससे करता था रेबल. उसके बाद आया एंग्री यंग मैन. When did Angry Young Man came? When for the first time India saw extra constitutional forces taking over. When for the first time India realized that this dream of uh, uh, socialistic pattern of society was not true. Till then, in 50s, they believed that all the happiness is round the corner and all perfect days are on the next page of calendar. But they realized it was not so. That bitterness, that for the first time, their deficit, deficiency of trust on institutions brought the angry young man. This angry young man was not possible in 50s, in that Nehruvian time, because we had hopes. When the hopes were shattered, then you got the vigilante. So whatever happens, it is not direct. If direct means realistic cinema, it's not realistic. But it is based on the dreams of fantasies and disappointments of bitterness, on disheartened uh, feelings of people, and it turns into cinema. You have to decode it, and you will know what is happening in the society. This aggressive attitude, which you see in some of the very uh, successful films, this kind of hardcore male chauvinism, which you see, it is coming from the society where, I mean, there is some kind of a value in being very aggressive, and that is your glory. If you are not aggressive, if you are compromising, if you are adjusting, you are almost an anti-national.
Can we have a mic to her? She's been stretching her hand really high. Yeah.
She's from the same group.
Yes. So my question to you is, do you look at your art, which is your writing, as a reflection of yourself and your beliefs? And because as an atheist, you've written songs about God worship and devotion. Does this ever create a conflict within? And if yes, then how do you get over that?
It means no decent man should ever play a dacoit. Are you saying that? Yes, I'm an atheist, but you see, a dialogue writer, we are sitting in the presence of a very fine dialogue writer, or a songwriter, or an actor, they are like chameleons. They take a situation, they take a role, and they have the capability of thinking like that person for a while when they are doing his or her scene. अगर आप नहीं कर सकते, then you can't be a good dialogue writer. If you are writing the dialogue of a vicious, ruthless man, you have to think like him to find the right words. If you are writing a song for a person who is a person of faith and has no ego, has totally surrendered to his or her God, you have to find that innocence, that self forgetfulness, that surrender somehow within you to write that lyric. तो ये कैपेबिलिटी जो है वो एक्टर में भी है. एक एक्टर जो अपनी मर्सिडीज में या अपनी किसी बहुत ही एक्सपेंसिव कार में आता है, और वो कार में आता है, फिर उसे फटे कपड़े पहनाए जाते हैं और एक झोपड़े का सेट लगा है, वहाँ एक गरीब औरत पड़ी है, एक्टर को बताया जाता है तेरी माँ है वो मर रही है, तो ही क्राइड एंड माँ मुझे छोड़ के मत जाओ, ही सेड दिस, एंड देन ही गेट्स अप, कट, ही गेट्स अप, ही गोज बैक, वेयर्स हिज सूट, सिट्स इन द मर्सिडीज, गोज होम. तो ये जो कैपेबिलिटी है उस रोल में चले जाने की, ये राइटर को भी चाहिए, लिरिसिस्ट को भी चाहिए. बट एट द सेम टाइम मस्ट यू आई मस्ट हैव रिटन मोर देन 1,000 सॉन्ग्स. आई हैव नॉट काउंटेड. बट वन ऑफ द मोस्ट चैलेंजिंग सॉन्ग फॉर मी was O Palanare. It's a simple bhajan But when I say simple, it is very difficult to be simple nowadays. It's very difficult. We have become so clever. We have such control on the craft. We have such a smart attitude towards the work कि वो सरेंडर, वो इनोसेंस, वो भोलापन मुझे याद है, मस्ट टेल यू, बहुत दिनों से बात चल रही थी श्याम साहब से, श्याम बेनेगल साहब से, कि अभी ये पिक्चर आप जो है जिसमें आप गाने, अभी आपके आने वाले सरदारी बेगम, तो आप मुझसे क्यों नहीं लिखवाते हैं? तो एक दिन मुझसे कहा, जावेद, व्हाट हैपेंस कि जब एक आप एक तरह के काम बहुत बरसों तक करते रहते हैं तो माइंड में वो बन जाती है एक मशीन जो वैसे ही काम करती है। अब मुझे तो दूसरी तरह के गाने चाहिए होंगे, ये तो मुझे सोच के बताओ, आई ट्रस्ट यू दैट यू विल बी एबल टू राइट दिस काइंड ऑफ सॉन्ग। आई सेड यस आई विल बी। अब जब वहाँ शान साहब की पिक्चर में गाने लिखे तो सॉन्ग हैड टू बी एज रियलिस्टिक एज द फिल्म वाज। तो वो सब वो नहीं हो सकता, हवाएं आ रही हैं और ये हो रहा है और बादल घिरा है, सब ये सब ड्रामा नहीं चलेगा। योर सॉन्ग हैज टू बी लाइक दिस कि जो एक 30s की सिंगर थी सरदारी बेगम, लगे कि ये तभी का गाना है, ये तो शायद उसकी टीचर ने और उसकी टीचर ने सिखाया होगा। तो मैंने लिखे वैसे गाने हैं। घर ना ही हमरे शाम, वो जाके परदेस बिराजे, धोना हमरा धाम, पापी पपीहा हमरा बैरी, लेत पिया का नाम, घर ना ही हमरे शाम। तो अब ये तो ऐसा लगे कि भाई ये पुराना फोक सॉन्ग है क्या? मोरे कान्हा जो आए पलट के, अब की होरी मैं खेलूंगी चट के। तो वो फिर ऐसा लगना चाहिए कि ये पुराने गाने हैं, पता नहीं कब से गाए जा रहे हैं। तो हमारे तो नहीं है, उसमें गज़ल भी एक थी, बट आई यूज़ द ओल्ड डिक्शन ऑफ गज़ल, जो आज से 100 साल पहले जैसी लिखी जाती थी। दैट कैपेबिलिटी यू शुड हैव। आपकी अपनी आइडियोलॉजी, अपना जो आपकी थिंकिंग, अगर वो आपके रास्ते में आ रही है, देन यू आर नॉट ऑनेस्ट टू योर वर्क। यस, 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 यस।
Yes.
अरे भैया, एक आध लड़के को भी पूछ लेने दो यार, ऐसा आगे बोलो, चलो, स्टैंड अप।
इसका
Hello, sir. मेरा नाम शशांक है. And since you said that talking about father is a very problematic thing, like in the first thing, and now you are in the now you are also in the same shoes, and two of your children is one of the like are the most successive personalities of Hindi film industry. So, what was your mentor-mentee relationship between you and your two children for their success?
I don't have the traditional relationship with my children at all. Yes, they do give me respect, but at the same time, they can tell me anything. Whatever problem they have, emotional, financial, career ka, personal, they can discuss with me openly. And they have many times. I never give them advice till they don't ask for it. And I give this advice with this understanding that if they accept, fine, if they don't, that's their choice. तो इतना आपको मार्जिन रखना होता है। तो मैं एक आई एम नॉट अ ट्रेडिशनल फादर, आई हैव नेवर बीन अ ट्रेडिशनल सन आल्सो। सो तो ठीक है, अच्छी रिलेशनशिप है। आई लव बोथ ऑफ देम आर वेरी ब्राइट। माय डॉटर टेक्स मोर लिबर्टीज विद मी देन द सन, मगर ये कि आई स्टिल लव हर। लव इज ब्लाइंड, यू नो।
जी, आप बताएं।
जी, चलिए भाई आ जाइए, अब चलो इनको दे दो यार। 33% रिजर्वेशन है यहाँ लड़कों का। अरे मैं तो उसे पीछे में लड़की खड़ी है, टन 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 टन, ये बेटा चलो।
Good evening, sir. I am Vibhuti, and I myself am a poet, and I started off as a songwriter. So, बहुत like reflective question है मेरे पास. That what is silence for you? Is it lack of word, lack of thought, keeping aside all your projects and everything that you've been given to be worked on? जब आप खुद अपने मन से बैठने लगते हो, बट कभी-कभार घंटे बाद पन्ना खाली ही मिलता है. तो is it your lack of thought or lack of word? Because that happens with me very often. And I spiral into it कि मेरे पास या तो आइडियाज़ नहीं है या मेरे पास वोकैब्युलरी नहीं है. So if you can help me with this answer, that would be really great. And thank you so much. And one
But-
thing from my father.
Okay.
He
May
was-
I ask a counter question?
Yeah, sure.
If you don't have words and if you don't have ideas, why do you want to write?
No. So, for me, I write based on what happens around me. And sometimes I want to write when nothing happens around me. So that's when I want to write about something. And I research, I pinpoint things I want to write down, but still I'm not able to give that, you know,
See, there must be something in you. कुछ तो होगा ना अंदर जिसकी वजह से आपके दिल में the very ambition of writing can come only when there is something that you want to say. Maybe at the moment you may have this problem, and everybody has, and it happens again and again to even senior writers that I want to say this, but how do I say it? What are the words for it? What is the technique? How I put it on paper? It happens to the writers who are doing their work in the last 30 years, 40 years, 50 years. It happened to them also. Now, your answer, sit down. I understood your question. There are two factors. One, I think there can be many more people who could be writers. They could be writers, but they gave up. What happens, even with experienced writers, that they sit down and they don't know how whatever they are feeling, which is rather vague or muddled. How do I put it in the word and make it clear enough that I find the right words and put them on the paper? And when you start writing, it happens often that really क्या लिखा है मैंने ये तो बकवास है बिल्कुल you फेंक दो फिर दोबारा लिखो फिर नहीं अच्छा लगता there is no flow in the language the idea is going in any which direction and so on but gradually by rejecting your own writing ultimately you find the right way gradually वो कहते हैं work is pleasure and work is worship nonsense work rubs your nose on the floor work humiliates you to begin with if you go through that humiliation and keep on trying, then you will get a break. And gradually you will become so powerful and so controlling that ultimately you will feel like that imaginary God that you are a creator. And at one stage, it can happen that you may be watching yourself doing this and wondering from where I got these words when I had heard them, when I had read them. It happens sometimes, not always. But most of the people give up because their first 2, 3 attempts are not good enough. Try again and again. And so you will keep on understanding what you are not supposed to write. And ultimately, you reach the point where this is the way to write it. It will take time. One. Another thing, there are two things in any art. One is imagination, fantasy, dream. On the other hand, something which is totally opposite this craft, which is totally calculated. It is like as real and as dry as mathematics. Ostensibly, they are moving in opposite directions. But the fact is that when you are writing, both the things are required. The technique, which is cold blooded, which is calculated, which is clever, and the emotions and feeling where there is total forgetfulness. You need both. Here is a person who is playing Shakespeare's hero, and the director tells him, you have to say, to be or not to be, that's the question. But by the time you say question, you take that light, there is a chalk mark, you read this. Now the actor, either he believes that he is the king, prince of Denmark, and the only weakness he has that he cannot take decisions. But he is the prince. If he is convinced that he is prince, then only then he will perform well. So how does he remember the chalk mark? How does he remember that light? And if he remembers the chalk mark and the light, how does he believe that he is the prince of Denmark? They are opposite. They are moving in opposite directions. They are contradictions. But actors do that. It is physical, so it's easier to describe. But for a writer, for a painter, for a lyricist, even for a musician, this is an internal uh, paradox. That while you are writing with total emotions and maybe tears are coming out of your eyes when you are writing, somebody in a part of your brain tells you, no, don't use this word. That one will be more effective. Use karo. That will touch their hearts more. Here's a clever, cunning side. Most of the writers don't like to talk about the technique of their writing not because they want to hide it from you, they want to hide it from themselves also. They don't want to know that. ये भी हुआ है, there is certain cleverness, certain cold-blooded technique has also gone in my writing. So you will develop, but I mean the very first day you can't have all the privileges. You are a student who is teaching herself. You keep on doing it, and gradually all these qualities will develop. हाँ हाँ आराम से दिखते चाहिए.
Uh, okay, can I have a mic with two hands are raised together? So.
Thank you. Sir, so in one of your tweets, you've called yourself an equal opportunity atheist. You've watched India grow and change and become what it is today. And I want to ask, how do you hold on to that belief that you are an equal opportunity atheist?
तो कुछ इसका आंसर is हाँ
He just spoke about being an atheist and also being able to.
Being an atheist in India as it's grown and become what it is today.
So, I mean, people have their own way of thinking. This is mine, and believe me, I'm not alone. I'm not alone at all. I think atheists in India are where some 50 or 60 years ago homosexuals were in America. We have closet homosexuals. Now we have closet atheists. They come alone. In my privacy, they come and tell, sir, you are right. I also think that. But what to do? अभी घर में पूजा होती है तो बैठना पड़ता है. There are many people, young people who are disbelievers. Many. And this population will keep on increasing. It's not possible that it will find a plateau. No, it will increase. Mr. Richard Dawkins, who is supposed to be, shall I say, the biggest prophet of atheism, he took my interview and his first question was, why are you an atheist? I gave my answer in 3 words. Because I think. You think you will become an atheist? Think about it. You see, people are very strange. I didn't want to bring this topic, but anyway, it has come. You keep a driver and you ask him, पहले कहाँ काम करते थे? Which car do you have driven? You see, we have imported cars, we have Mercedes and this and that. So, have you driven these cars? So, will you come on Sunday? You know, sometimes we get late, we go to the parties, we come back at 2. So, will you take overtime for it? Or you will have a salary which will cover all this, and so on. You keep a cook. You ask him 20 questions. What all you can cook? पहले कहाँ काम करते वो क्यों छोड़ा वहाँ क्या सैलरी मिलती थी अच्छा भाई सुनो हमारे यहाँ पार्टी होती है 100 आदमी भी आते हैं तुम 100 आदमियों का खाना एक साथ बना सकते हो blah blah. You keep a chowkidar. You ask him, but sometimes you don't, which is a mistake. You should always ask questions. So, इनसे भी सवाल करते हो. And you keep a God without any question. God is at least more important than your driver and cook. आपने उससे सवाल किए थे and you kept by recommended by the parents. बेटा ये इसे God रख लेना. जी मम्मी ऐसी को रखेंगे. Have you asked any question? तुम क्वेश्चन करो तुम एथिस्ट हो जाओगी क्वेश्चन करके देख लो
Yes.
Hello.
This one here.
Yeah, sure.
Hi, I'm Girisha. Kind of similar to what Savni just asked. So you often talk about your early days in Bombay, how you arrived to the city with 27 paise to your name. Um, how do you feel about the changes that Bombay has undergone as a city, the push to urbanization? Like so many of the familiar facets, like things that happen in the city, have completely changed, and all the people that live in Bombay, they're further away from each other now. How do you, as someone who holds Bombay close to themselves, feel about this?
Well, things change, and I think only fools and dead people don't change. But anybody who is alive, who is thinking, who is experiencing, who is interacting with rest of the society, it's not possible to he or she will not change. So change is not such a bad thing. अच्छा फिर चेंज भी सोसाइटी में ये एक लाइन में नहीं होता. It happens in many directions, some good, some bad, in every society. हमारे यहाँ जो चेंजेस हुए हैं कुछ अच्छे हैं कुछ बुरे हैं. वी शुड ट्राई टू सी द जो अच्छे चेंजेस हैं वो एक्सपैंड होते रहें, जो बुरे हैं वो थोड़े से स्टंटेड हो जाए, रुक जाए, हो सके तो वी पुश देम बैक एज मच एज वी कैन. तो वी शुड नॉट बी स्केयर्ड एंड पीपल. मुझे तो ऐसा लगता है कि अगर हम चेंज नहीं हो रहे तो समथिंग इज रॉन्ग विद अस. वी आर स्टेज. I have great respect for younger generation, and I honestly believe that there is so much to learn from them. And sometimes people say, "अरे आप इतने 50 साल पहले भी लिखते थे, अभी भी लिखते हैं, so how you are so relevant?" I am relevant, if at all, then because I listen to younger people, so they keep me relevant. Young person, get up. I am praising you.
Good morning, sir. So I'm Mika. So I'm a third year at liberal arts. So I had a really I was very eager to know. So like whatever writings you write, so how does it makes you connect yourself with more? Like how does it make you understand yourself more? Like the lyrics which you write, the writings which you write, it really inspires me. So I want to ask that.
देखिए, first of all, I think the shortest cut to be totally bad is to try to understand yourself. The moment you start trying to understand yourself, who am I? Why am I in this universe? मेरी लाइफ का पर्पस क्या है? ये easiest way of getting mad. We should not think so much about ourselves. We can think about our behavior, particularly which was wrong. We have to correct ourselves. We should keep on correcting ourselves, trying to improve ourselves. That is enough. Otherwise, we should think about the world, about new things that are happening, the new discoveries, about the history past, about the future. These are the things to be thought about instead of thinking, who am I? Who am I? I'm nothing. Nobody is anything. Why am in this universe? Shall I tell you why I'm in this universe? It's quite vulgar, so I won't tell you. ये तो ये इसको इतना सीरियसली अपने आप को लेने की नो नीड टू टेक योरसेल्फ सो सीरियसली. You are relevant because you're in a society. You are relevant in relationships. You are relevant. You're not an island. You are not relevant in isolation. You're nothing. I'm nothing in isolation. We are whatever we are because of others, because of the society, because of the world. And we are giving meaning to each other's life. Otherwise, कोई meaning नहीं. क्या meaning है? We are just lucky sperms.
Thank you. We will just take two more questions because it's 7:30 already. Sir.
I have noticed, I have gone to so many educational institutions. Never I have seen so many girls asking questions. What symbiosis has done to you, I don't know. But I have never seen such talkative girls. Chalo bolo bhai. Wonderful, wonderful. Hats off to this institution. Yes, it's true.
Good evening, sir. I'm Shreya Mukherjee, a media student. Sir, I wanted to ask you that has there ever been a time when you deliberately or advertently chose to write a poetry over a prose just to address critically a social or political issue?
Yes, I have written a lot of poetry on that.
So how has that affected you? I mean,
Affected?
affected you or your creative
See,
writing
no. You are putting the cart before the horse. It affected me, that's why I wrote the poetry.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, one last question.
यार एक वो बच्चे को यार लड़के को कुछ तो करो जैसे हमने तो लड़कों भाई इनको दीजिए आप।
Yes. Thank you so much, sir. I am Atharva, and I wanted to ask you, as someone who has seen the mediums of creation and consumption of art and literature change throughout the years, what do you think about the current landscape of both these consumption and creation of art with original thought and authenticity with rise of AI, LLMs, and everything? Because I see people using ChatGPT to just ask you questions for the sake of it. So where does the buck stop?
Oh yes, that's a very important question here. I think in future AIA will not be just what it is today. It is in its cradle, and already people are getting nervous about it. But you may get nervous breakdown, you anything. But AIA is there to stay and flourish and become more and more powerful. You have to accept that. Every invention in the world has always been by the conservative, by the insecure section of society, has been a threat to the humanity. This is not the first one, although this time the wolf may have really come. But they are calling wolf since centuries. An automobile was a threat. A steam engine was a threat. Bertrand Russell written a book, Religion and Science. You must read that. Even Pope had given a fatwa against steam engine. That this is a vehicle of hell. Satan, it will take you to hell. Every invention has been always opposed by the conservative. But this time it's really a serious matter because for the first time human being has invented something and which will become better and better and better, and science will not stop because of any moral reason. Science is amoral. I'm not saying immoral, amoral. It will discover. It will make it more strong, and a time will come when artificial intelligence, and it is not after a few centuries or few decades, it will happen within your lifetime. Maybe not mine, but yours. When artificial intelligence will become self sufficient, artificial intelligence will be able to make robots and computers on its own. And those computers will be able, and those robots will be able to more robots and more computers. It will have a much higher than IQ than you and me. It will have better knowledge. Till today, it is only dependent on data. That's why it's a very efficient secretary at the moment. Very efficient secretary. But creativity has yet to come to it. For creativity, you need many more things. Creativity doesn't happen in conscious mind. It is like between countries, there is a no man's land. The same way between the conscious mind and subconscious mind, there is a no man's land. Creativity happens on that no man's land between the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. You can ask any writer. Sometimes, as I mentioned earlier also, he or she gets surprised that how do I know this? Where did I hear this word? How I remember this word? It surprises them because when your subconscious, which has a much bigger treasure than your subconscious, it starts supplying something, then you do great work, real artistic work, creative work. Creativity, now you're at the moment, your artificial intelligence doesn't have a subconscious, but it will have someday. Today, we are better off because artificial intelligence mother did not die when artificial intelligence was 8 years old. Artificial intelligence was not humiliated by his or her relatives. Artificial intelligence was not rejected by the lover because the lover found somebody better, and so on. All of it is there in your subconscious. All the misery, all the happiness, all the joy, all the sorrow that you have seen or experienced is collected in your subconscious and it comes to your help. Artificial intelligence so far doesn't have a subconscious, it only has data. But it will develop a support soon. And then the battle final, we are not even quarterfinalists. We will not reach even in the quarterfinal. The ultimate war will be, or that competition will be, between this robo, this artificial intelligence, and the super child that is being made on the other side, where they can edit your genes, where they can make changes. They can, an average super child will have an IQ, it will be 200 times higher than Einstein. They will be able to decide the bent of mind of the child, and they may change the body also, because a human being has internalized that two hands are not enough. That's why from Latin America to Far East, everywhere, in mythologies, when the gods and goddesses are drawn, they are given four hands at least. It means human being thing, the ideal is at least four hands. हमारी लैंग्वेज में क्या क्या करूं, दो तो हाथ है मेरे. We are very upset that we have only two hands. So they will develop a superhuman being with four hands, high IQ, longevity of thousands of years. And there'll be ultimately the competition between this super baby and the computer. We are not to be counted. We'll be out of the tournament.
In the hope of keeping that no man's land alive, let's put our hands together again for Janab Javed Akhtar.
Thank you, Javed ji, Suchetna, and our delightful audience for making this such an engaging session. All right, I'll request everyone to stay back for just a couple of minutes. I now invite my dear friends and colleagues, Ananya Datta and Suchetna Banerjee, on stage. I'm not promising to keep it short, but I have to say what I have to say. We sincerely hope that you've enjoyed the discussions, book readings, and the chance to interact with our distinguished speakers over the last 2 days. We hope we've delivered on a promise of this year's theme and you leave inspired and brimming with ideas. SLF 2025 would not have been possible without an army of people working behind the scenes, and we cannot wrap this festival without saying a few important thank yous. I know it's been a long day, and I have a long list, and I'm requesting your patience because I really need to acknowledge these people. Our thanks are due to Colonel Radkar, Colonel Bhatt, and Colonel Shirodkar, and the entire campus administration team who have been amazing hosts across all three Vimannagar campuses. The catering team has fed us well, keeping up the energy of the guests, the speakers, and our 70-member OC. Our thanks are also due to the teams from Symbiosis Studios and the IT department who have not only captured this event on film but also seamlessly broadcast it on YouTube. Thank you also to the Symbiosis PR team for their help in giving the festival greater visibility. We must mention the folks at Aleph and Simon & Schuster who have been a great support in curating the festival lineup. A general but really heartfelt thanks due to all members of the Symbiosis family for all their support. Of course, we have to mention our colleagues, the entire faculty members and staff at the Symbiosis School for Liberal Arts, for their endless support in the months leading up to the festival. If I started listing each of them now, we would be here till dawn, so I will refrain from naming anyone. We also want to thank our sister institutes, the Symbiosis Institute of Design and the Symbiosis School for Culinary Arts and Nutritional Sciences, for curating two lovely panels. Last night at dinner, Barry O'Brien was slightly miffed that the students of the logistic team were called points of contact. He wanted it reworded to people who care. I've already told you that we have a team of 70 people who care. I can't name all of them, but some names just have to be mentioned. Nandini from the research team, Girisha from the design team,
and Fatima, who've been in charge of the stage. Vaishnavi, Ananya, Kuhok, and Nila from the social media team. Sangana and Aditi from the decor team. Nandana and Chetrali, who have been sternly but hopefully politely directing you to your seats. Sarthak on the photography team. Lakshita, who's been assisting the Pagdandi folks outside. And on that note, a really special shout out to Vishal and Neha from Pagdandi. They've not just been here for the last 2 days ensuring that you get your favorite authors' books in time to get them signed, etc. They've been working with us for a good solid months on curating this panel. Priyanshu from the food management team. And finally, Suhani, who led the People Who Care, our logistics team. While a bunch of the student heads of various teams, which is the names I just read out, have been diligently doing their work in the weeks leading up to the festival, 2 students, Savni Apte and Riddhi Rohtagi, have gone several extra miles to ensure the smooth running of the festival. Riddhi would be well known to all our guests, and while Savni has been working silently behind the scene for months. Of course, none of this would have been possible without the vision, guidance, and support of Majindar sir, Vidya ma'am, and Raman sir. With that, we are finally letting you go. We hope you've had a great time, and we look forward to seeing you next year.